What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson, and as always, I'm joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops. Choops, my friend, how we doing, buddy?
Doing great, doing great. Had a big weekend of wrestling, and I'm ready to talk about it with you. And got some fun matches that we're going to get into today for sure. And off the top, we want to make sure Bryce Cannon is okay. We know
Yes.
yet another injury sustained at a PCW event. Hopefully, they get their act together and treat their world champion better. Hashtag justice for Bryce. Hopefully the cut isn't too bad, but a situation we need to monitor for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We are hoping to make this championship summit happen between everybody contending for the PCW World Championship at Turn the Page on October 13th. So hopefully we'll have an announcement date for that in the next couple of weeks or the next couple of days, I guess. But I feel like we just kind of have to start with the obvious today. I mean, this is the biggest story in wrestling right now. Adam Copeland.
Something happened?
Yeah, this one guy, I think you know him as Sexton Hardcastle. Yeah, he's
yes.
Now all elite. Adam Copeland has signed what is appearing to be a full-time AEW contract. I mean, he's going full tilt, no part-timer status for this guy. We watched WrestleDream together, and I think that we had to have this feeling that this was what was going to be the end of the show, given the fact that Christian Cage, Darby Allin was the main event of the show for the TNT Championship. But it still just it feels surreal that we are watching Edge in a non-WWE ring. It just, yeah. I mean, what we both had a day to marinate on it. So, tell me, from your perspective, kind of what comes to mind when you think about this. This is a seismic shift in the wrestling landscape.
It is a much better signing, I think, than CM Punk was. I think this will be a lot better. I think it'll go smoother than the Punk signing. I don't know if Edge is going to make such a fuss backstage. And he provides a lot of, matches we didn't get to see while he was out in the WWE. Guys like Moxley, Samoa Joe, then a Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, teaming with FTR. There's a lot that
Lucha Brothers, Bryan Danielson again.
Yep. The matches are endless. Obviously, the Christian Cage effect. Is that, do we get a tag run? Do we get a feud between them? It looks like we're going in that direction. Another one was Edge and Sting. That was really cool to see. I don't think they've ever been in the same ring together. So that was another fun one. Yeah, this feels like a big deal for AEW. I would say this is probably their second biggest signing as far as impact towards the company. First going to be Mox. I would say Mox has done, that he's been that flag bearer for AEW since he showed up, and felt like a really, really big deal when he showed up. And same thing with Adam Copeland now. Hey, AEW's like we're at the table and we're not going anywhere. And this is like you said, 25 years, first time ever he's in a different ring, and it's going to take some getting used to. It's going to be a little weird, but it's exciting, and it's a great time to be a wrestling fan, as we keep saying.
Yeah, no, it really, really is, and it stinks that this has also been a very polarizing move in the world of pro wrestling. How somehow this is a trail of Edge to go to AEW. No. If you read his statement on X that he released today about why he made the move and kind of what his mindset was, he felt that he and WWE were growing apart. They just completed this merger with UFC. Wrestling contracts are probably going to look very, very different from here on out now that there's a larger parent company overseeing things. And based on kind of patterns that we saw in UFC, within the last couple of years as well, you have to think that a lot of that same energy is going to, ultimately, impact how WWE handles signing talent contracts. And there are a significant number of names that are up for extension, within the next year that it's going to make people think. And this is just huge for everybody all around. AEW did have a CM Punk-sized hole to fill. Edge is kind of the perfect guy to do it. He is the polar opposite of CM Punk, and that's what works in this particular situation. He has friends that work there, and it's not going to feel entirely foreign to him because of the people he's going to get to work with that he knows.
Yeah.
Even when you listen to the press conference last night, I mean, he got working with Darby Allin right away on putting together that intro montage that we saw. That's insane. I mean, Nick Wayne shared a ring last night with Edge, Christian, and Sting, and he's 18 years old. And he's only going to continue to do that. Like, the effect will be, it's there, and we're going to see it sooner than later.
Yeah, and it's if this is say a year, it's going to mean a lot to AEW, and the fact that you have someone like Adam Copeland in your locker room to kind of be a locker room leader rather than what CM Punk was, I think it could be huge for AEW as far as kind of riding the ship on all that backstage drama. Like, because I guarantee the stuff with like Jack Perry wouldn't have happened if Edge was back there going, "Hey, let's cooler heads need to prevail. Let's squash this. Let's get this out of the way." I feel like he doesn't have the big ego that came with Punk. I feel like he just loves wrestling and wants to see somebody else succeed. And again, the hate that you mentioned, that it's not him, but he worked for the company for 25 years. And they obviously were kind of done with whatever they wanted to do with him. So that's the cool thing about having another company now is he can go over there. We can get another year of Edge, and who's complaining about that? Like, if you're complaining about it, you don't like wrestling. That's what it boils down to. If you're complaining about, oh man, Adam Copeland's on another show, you don't like wrestling. You don't.
Yeah.
So don't act like you do.
Yeah, I mean, it does not impact WWE's ability to continue the great storytelling that they're doing right now.
No.
And really, the question at this point now is, realistically, let's say that Edge had stayed. What more could you have done with him? And I think that's just the point that we were at. Is he's done everything that there is under the sun in that company. 31 titles held, already a Hall of Famer for over a decade now. Like, what more realistically could you do with him?
We'll always have that moment at the Rumble when he came back. WWE always has that moment. He's gonna, once it's all said and done, I'm sure he will be welcomed back with open arms.
Of course.
And like, what was the biggest complaint about WWE is they have so many part-timers. He was one of them. And now one of those part-timers is going to make a name for him, not for name for himself, but help establish another company and continue to make that company great.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be a part-timer taking time away from your full-time wrestlers that you guys want pushed. So what is the issue? I don't understand. I don't understand the strife. I don't understand people being upset. I don't get it. I think either I retweeted it or I favorited it. Let me pull this up real quick. Or re-xed it. I don't know what it's called anymore.
Yeah.
Shared it. But Kenny Omega tweeted 5 days ago. I'm going to read it for you.
Okay.
This may be news to a lot of fans out there, but when one wrestler goes from another company to another, we tend to always wish them the best and cheer for them while they embark on their new journey. Genuinely, it's embarrassing and shameful that some fans aren't capable of the same. That sums it up right there.
Yeah.
Like, the fans are the ones creating, oh, he's a traitor. When everybody in the business is like, I mean, probably everyone in the business is like, oh, that's really cool. Oh, maybe I can go do that one day. Like, that's
exactly.
It's the cool part about that. And like, why do the fans get upset? I don't understand. Yeah. I'm gonna get off my soapbox.
Yeah, and I mean, and I sent this to you earlier today. There's an op-ed in Wrestling Inc. that it's not up to us to decide what Adam Copeland does to earn a living as far as his employment. That's not up to us. And there is no reason for any of us to feel like there is any way that we should be entitled to have some say in what he does for his career that was taken from him for 9 years. So that's 9 years of creativity and fun matches that we didn't get as wrestling fans. We got, like you said, the epic Royal Rumble return. We got that look in his face of just sheer joy to be back. Let him move on to this next chapter. It's not. I mean, it's sort of akin to Brady going to Tampa after a long tenure in New England. Like, that's just sometimes what happens with people. I mean, realistically, the same people that are upset at him making this jump also probably can't think of anything more that he could have done in WWE. And if there's anybody out there that, has thoughts on what more there might have been for him to do in WWE, feel free to, put that in the comments. Let's hear about it. I mean, everybody's got different ideas, and, I just can't think of anything right now personally that it's like, okay, I have to see this in WWE involving Edge before it's all said and done. There just really wasn't a ton more.
No, I mean, and there wasn't, like, I'm sure people will bring up like a Gunther. Like, that would have been cool to see,
Sure.
but that's the only one off the top of my head right now. Like, do I want to see him in Mello? Maybe. Like, I don't know. I would rather see him go have some fun with his best friend that he's been in the wrestling business for 25 years with Christian, who's on one of the best runs of his career.
Yeah.
He's over there with Jericho, with another familiar face. Like, just go have some fun. That's what I want. I want Edge to go have some fun. And why am I going to get upset if he wants to go have fun? Again, he will probably come back to WWE at some point, and they will probably be welcoming with open arms.
Absolutely.
And
I mean, like, Legends deals are always an option.
And like the whole trading aspect of it, he's not a trader. He's not. I think the only person that I can see that would never go to AEW in that company is probably John Cena.
Yeah, no.
Like, that's probably the only one that's like semi-active right now. Like, or maybe like The Rock or something. Like, he's not going to go over there. He's bigger than both companies. That's what those two are.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. I don't get it, man. If you're complaining about it, you don't like wrestling. Stop talking to me.
Yeah, very much. But I mean, dude, we're burying the lead on this here too. And I think before we move on to actually recapping the shows from this weekend, we've already talked about this. There's a number of interesting names that are up for new contracts in 2024. One of them reportedly is AJ Styles. I mean, if there was ever a name that might jump ship, I mean, you have to think that, there would have to be some smoke to that fire,
Besides the Boneyard match, name your favorite AJ Styles match in the last 3 years. It's not like they're using him.
Yeah. Because
I would say the Danielson match on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Remember that one.
And before you added the caveat of the last 3 years, I was immediately going to go to that match with Cena at SummerSlam. I think it was either 16 or 17. Like, that would have been, the one that put him on the map for me. But yeah, I mean, it's not been the best use of AJ Styles this year.
Or the last 3 years.
It's just, it's something.
And that's where it is. Is like, do you want him to sign with that company and then be miserable because he's not doing anything, or do you want him to go to AEW and maybe we get another 2 awesome years out of AJ Styles and some dream matches? And like, that's the same thing with Edge. Like, why not? Let's have some fun. Let's see what happens. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. But if it does, it's gonna be awesome for us. Because that moment last night, you and I were both like, we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming, and we were still like, holy, it happened.
Yeah, because literally, I mean, we are getting the exact same guy down to the theme song, so it is nice that there is not really going to be a whole lot of trying to somehow add new context or new lens to the presentation of this guy. This is the same guy that we've been watching for 25 years in WWE. Yeah, and now it's just a different environment. That's all it is.
It's like Cody Rhodes. They took Cody Rhodes from AEW and put him in WWE with his Cody Rhodes gimmick. They're doing the same thing with Edge, and Cody Rhodes has worked. Why can't Edge?
Yeah, I have no reason to think that it won't. So yeah, I mean, obviously there will be a lot more to talk about this, especially once he makes his first Dynamite appearance later on this week. But moving left and right along, again, 2 great shows this weekend. Let's start with NXT No Mercy. A relatively well-balanced card. Let's just get right into it. You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, so first match, Blair Davenport defeated Kalani Jordan by pinfall. This is just a pre-show match. Got the job done. Blair Davenport is on a roll right now in NXT, and this is just a good moment for her. Not the longest match in the world, but at least there were it was more than one women's match on this card. So
Yeah,
Great win.
full transparency. Didn't see it. The shows are right around feeding time, so it is a little. It's tough for me to catch the pre-shows
Yeah,
every
right.
time, but yeah, Blair's been on a roll. Kalani's in the um, Rising Stars tournament or breakout tournament for NXT here, moving up.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to see her. Sans Dana Brooke. That storyline's done because Dana Brooke's gone. So
Yep.
we're gonna have to see what she does on her own and see if she can make a name for herself in NXT.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you think about it, with the breakout tournament and then deadline coming up, you have to think that another Iron Survivor Challenge is going to happen, men's and women's. And I
Yeah,
mean, this is their chance to set up 2024 as far as what NXT is going to look like. And it is starting to finally. I don't want to speak for you, but it certainly feels like they have finally shed the NXT 2.0
yes,
label
I would
that
agree.
hindered it for. I mean, that was a really rough year plus to watch. So
It is cool to watch NXT again.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. And there are a
We
lot of
don't.
people that are they're doing great jobs right now, and
Yeah.
I mean everybody should be lauded for that. I mean even Matt Bloom took to X after No Mercy to give everybody their flowers, which they should. So
Mhm.
yeah, again, great pre-show match, just kind of a good way to ease into the night. Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker kicking off the show, that heated battle, or that brawl, I guess I should say, in NXT on the Go Home show. We knew that this was going to be just, throwing fists and, beating the brakes off each other. And that's exactly what it was.
Yep.
Nothing super scientific or technical about it, which is fine. I mean,
Didn't have to be.
this accomplished what it needed to.
Yeah. No, it's a good match. It's interesting to see Braun lose with the Robert Stone interference. I don't know if I had Baron Corbin pinning Braun Breaker on my bingo card for this year, but here we are.
Yeah.
Braun, or excuse me, Baron. Man, their names are very similar, minus one letter. Baron is. I like what he's doing down in NXT. He seems more of a fit down in NXT to come in and kind of be that veteran bully character
Yeah.
that wasn't working on the main roster because he wasn't the veteran, but down here he is the veteran. And then Braun, like I don't know how much more he needs to do down in NXT. I think he would be great for a Rumble spot. I would be interested to see if he's in the Rumble this year and then maybe debuts the Raw after Mania. But I think he's ready to come up. His in-ring style is fantastic. His promos are Scott Steiner-ish crazy. The
Yep.
gimmick is working. I don't know about coming out with the wolf head. It's a little weird, but
That was, yeah.
that's okay. And that maybe they were getting ready for Halloween. Baron came out as the American Badass. So
Yeah.
it was a fun match. It was what it needed to be. It started off the crowd hot because those guys were just going to beat the hell out of each other, and that's what they did. And I'm enjoying Baron Corbin. I didn't think I'd say that in 2023.
Yeah, no, this is exactly what it needs to be for him. He was just getting stale on the main roster. That's really all it is. They tried everything under the sun to
Mm-hmm.
try to get him over, and nothing was really working. But I mean, his best work came in NXT anyway. So definitely not surprised that this is how his career has gone now that he's come back. Who knows? At this point, we could see him in the North American title picture. We could see him in the world in the NXT Championship picture. I mean, Ilya's going to need some opponents, and we'll certainly talk about that here in a little bit. But yeah, like I said, this got this did what it needed to do. So
Yep.
new North American champion,
Yes. And the
Trick
right decision.
Williams. Yeah, this is. I'm really happy for him because I think it would have been easy to write him off as just a heater that no real plan in place to see what he can do. But the fact that they consciously made a story of, okay, yes, these guys are a unit. Let's go do our things as far as our singles careers, but like this isn't changing. They didn't need to turn on each other to do it. Very New Day-esque, and this is awesome. Dom elevated the title a little bit because he had it on all three shows.
Yep.
So there was some benefit to having Judgment Day involvement with that championship. But I mean, Trick can run with it now. I think that he is more than proven that he can go in the ring. He can, he can go. He can talk. You can do whatever you want with him.
Yeah, no, Trick has done very well singles wise. I think, WWE hit a home run with both him and Mello to kind of establish them as future stars of the company because I could see Trick Williams being a future star of this company. I still don't understand Dragon Lee in the referee role. Whether that leads to Dragon Lee versus Trick Williams. We saw Dragon Lee on SmackDown as well, kind of get involved with the LWO angle with Lashley and the Street Profits. So I don't know if that's going to be his role. I just don't know why he was in this match. He got super kicked, and I guess when you put the referee shirt on, you get referee powers because he was out for a long time. um, a lot of Gaga in this match. Um, some of it probably wasn't needed. I think for me, having the visual pin on for Trick Williams multiple times just to have him end up winning. Okay, it was fine. Wasn't the 5-star Matt Classic, but Trick is over. I think the crowd is really behind Trick, and everybody hates Dominic Mysterio, so they wanted to see him lose. So it kind of makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think I've got a couple of thoughts on this. I mean, obviously, this match was supposed to be Mustafa Ali and not Trick Williams, so maybe my thought would be because they had to shuffle things around, do the release, that adding a special referee component can make for a little bit more exciting, just to over deliver something that they weren't going to do in the first place, just as an added mea culpa for it. So I don't necessarily hate the guest referee from that aspect of it, but I mean I think that this did what it was supposed to do, and Dominic is not hurt by this loss. If anything, this adds to the additional chaos of what's going on in Judgment Day right now because he had no help during that match. So, we know that Rhea's been off selling the Nia Jax injury, and everything's going on with JD and
she's
like
hurt.
legit.
No, she's not.
Yeah, I bit on that one.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I did. I really did.
Also,
that's
do you want me to go? Let me go get my wallet real quick. Pull out my $10 bill and give it to you. Your mea culpa. $10 word of the day. Great job.
It's the lawyer in me. I'm sorry.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I'm just saying that's
Yeah.
I use a lot of Latin in my day-to-day working life. Leave me alone.
Working life. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, this next match, I know that we had some thoughts on it the other day, but when we were doing our previous show, the family did retain the NXT Tag Team Championships, defeating OTM, Creed Brothers, and Los Lotharios. This was a good little match, man. I mean, that's you can't be too mad at the effort these guys put in.
Nope, and I got to eat my words. I said on the previous show this was the match I was least looking forward to over the weekend, and it was one of the better ones of this weekend. So, I will eat my words on it. A really fun match. The Creeds are freaking amazing. I think the only thing holding them back is mic work right now. And I think that's probably why they're still down in NXT. But like in ring wise, they are phenomenal. Out the mud, I'm still kind of, let's see what happens. They're getting there. They're athletes. Scripts, I don't know what adds to them. Their entrance was stupid. I didn't like their entrance. They rode the bikes for a little bit and then got off, which was weird. Like, why not come out on the bikes? It was a little dumb, but I will give them some time, let them grow on me. Los Lotharios, I think, have a ton of potential, and if you just let them wrestle, I think they'd be great. They look like the Wolves, which I'd get rid of the scratch marks. You're not Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards. You're not.
Those are permanent, pal.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they look like it when they don't come off during the match, except they did. And then, Tony D'Angelo and Stax, they're great characters. Stax is a lot better in the ring than I think a lot of people know. I think if you really watch his work, like he's really, really good. And, Tony's got this character down to a T. I could have done without the injury angle. I don't know what exactly that added. But overall, like, fun match. I'll eat the crow. I was not excited for it, and I was pleasantly surprised by this match.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you when it comes to the Creed brothers. I think that if they were to come up to the main roster, put them in Alpha Academy, let Maxine do the heavy lifting with that. We know that Chad Gable could as well. So, I mean, that would be kind of the natural fit for them. OTM, I'm much like you, I'm going to wait, but they didn't add much to this match for me. I think this could have been a triple threat tag match, and it would have been perfectly fine. I wouldn't have been upset at it. It is what it is. As far as D'Angelo and Stacks, I have enjoyed that as the story arc has gone on with the family, that there's been the transition to an emphasis on being a tag team as opposed to this is a single star that's got, a heater and almost, had two for a very brief period. So
Yeah.
I have enjoyed seeing these guys as a tag team unit. If you guys have not seen Stax Lorenzo on the Indies, look up. He was trained by. I'm pretty sure he was trained by Glenn Jacobs and Tom Pritchard. Did some work as what was his character's name? I think the mother lover, Jake Tucker. So if you do get a chance to find any of that on the internet, definitely should. It's very, very entertaining. But yeah, no, this was what it was. First title defense on a PLE. Good for them. They're gonna continue to roll. There's no reason not to run with these guys as your tag champs for a while.
No, really, really good match. Again, pleasantly surprised. Maybe the better 4-way tag match of the weekend. We'll get to it, but a little bit controversial with that statement.
Didn't want to say
get
that.
To that other one. I didn't, and shout out to those guys for I think proving me wrong. So
yeah, for sure. You ready for a little bit of British Rounds rules?
I am.
Man, Noam Dar defeating Butch for the Heritage Cup. Butch winning the Global Heritage Invitational, being cornered by Tyler Bate. Always good to see British Strong Style back together. This was just technical excellence at its best. It certainly wasn't the best technical wrestling match we saw this entire weekend by a long shot. However, Noam Dar is just on fire right now. I mean, everything related to the Heritage Cup and the delightful delusion that comes with him being the Heritage Cup champion. I'm a big fan of it. I love metaphor. I never thought that I would say that sentence. I was never the biggest Lash Legend or Jakara Jackson fan in the world, but this collective just works.
Yeah, no, it's a fun group. It was good to see British Strong Style back together. My other, not concern, but my gripe with this match was, again, a lot of gaga. Like, Gallus got involved. I think Vic said it on commentary. It took 7 people to beat Butch, so they are obviously making Butch look strong. But that's a little bit of overkill for me. It was a good match. I like these rules. They're growing on me for sure. I hope they do another one of these in the future. Noam Dar's character is fantastic. Butch getting the spotlight was great. I don't know what this leads to. I would assume Gallus versus Butch, Tyler Bate, and maybe Rich Holland down the road, and Noam Dar moves on. But yeah, a really good match. Happy to see Butch getting the spotlight. I think he's so good. He's so young. It's crazy again how young him and Bate are, and like their futures are going to be so bright. And yeah, just another good solid match on this card.
For sure. I think that Dar should continue to have an iron grip on the Heritage Cup for the foreseeable future. There really isn't anybody right now that I am clamoring to have defeat him. So, we'll kind of see how, again, Breakout Tournament and Iron Survivor, how those shape up, and start to see in 2024 kind of where this goes. But for now, they're perfectly fine. And next we're into our main and co-main event. Ilya Dragunov defeating Carmelo Hayes to capture his first NXT championship. And I gotta give him a snaps, man. That was phenomenal match. Phenomenal match.
You said you're giving him snaps and then you clapped. You're feeling whatever. Okay?
Yeah, it's fun.
No, match of the weekend? Question mark. Was for me. This match was fantastic.
There are at least 2 others that come to mind for me that I think could also be in that conversation.
I think this is match of the weekend.
That's just me. Okay.
This was fantastic. The fighting spirit of Melo for Ilya to have to do an H-bomb off the top rope to finally beat him. Dragunov just not going away, just getting killed and killed and killed, and Melo just going back and forth and hitting hard. It's just this was a really, really good NXT match that I would put up there with some of those great takeover matches, man. Like this was
Absolutely.
I think on par to those. Probably the best match in NXT this year, if I had to rank it. Like this match was it was so good. It had me on the edge of my seat. After the first H-bomb, I was like, oh, it's over.
Yeah.
Kick out. After the second H-bomb, oh, it's over. Kick out. Melo had a couple great near falls on Ilya, and I'm sitting there like, I actually don't know who's going to win. And just some of the moves, and Ilya is insane. Like, not Darby Allin level
talent.
insane,
yeah,
but that guy will just knock his head into a wall and then get right back up. Like he is, and he's only 29. They mentioned on commentary. So again, he's 29. Melo's in his 20s. Like their future, they are building that future, and we'll talk about another one in the main event. That's in her 20s, and the future looks really, really good for WWE right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Melo, we have been saying for, probably a better part of 6 months to probably close to a year at this point. He's main roster ready. Like there is, I would imagine he will probably have one more match with Ilya just to get the trilogy out of the way. But I think that he needs to have his NXT curtain call, and main roster awaits. There's just so many great ways that you can use him. Obviously, the Street Profits, Bobby Lashley alliance could use a fourth to round that out to create something new that is akin to the Hurt Business. That's your guy. That is your guy. You have your tag team specialists in Street Profits. Bobby Lashley will probably get a go at Roman at some point before WrestleMania for the Undisputed Championship. But then to have somebody just run in the mid-card division, tell me that you don't want to see more of him with Grayson Waller. Tell me you don't want to see him doing stuff with Austin Theory. Like
Rey Mysterio.
Possibilities, yes.
Like that
Escobar.
would be amazing. Like him and Rey Mysterio would tear it up. That's another guy that I could see in the Rumble, and then maybe a SmackDown after Mania debut. I think we have a little bit of Trick Williams meat on the bone. They had something at the very end of the show where he's kind of looking at the North American title, and you got to remember he held that North American title for a long time, so maybe he's looking at that, and does that go to something? And man, if you rewind, and I'll let you handle that part for me, if you go back and rewind to the preview show,
okay,
I think I said Ilya was going to win because this Melo Trick feud doesn't need the world title. Point for the podcast, Dad.
It really doesn't.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You were right. I know you want to hear that. Here's your...
Said it. Did you hear it? He said it. I was right. Because you know why?
See, I know how to do that without...
Always right. Thank you.
I'll blow it out your... All right. Anyway.
There. I blew it out. What are your final thoughts on the match, buddy?
Probably one of the best matches that NXT has produced all year. These guys are doing right now some of the best work of their careers. So Ilya running NXT with that mantle for the foreseeable future is the right choice. He is just such a versatile performer that he'll get a great match out of anybody, and there's going to be no shortage of challengers. So yeah, I'm ready for the rest of this year, and I'm ready for 24, man.
Dude, the Mad Russian is going to run that place, and I am so excited.
Yeah. Absolutely. You ready to get extreme?
It sounds like a personal question.
Yeah, it still requires an answer.
With you, sure.
Okay. Becky Lynch defeated Tiffany Stratton to retain the NXT Women's Championship in a brutal Extreme Rules match. This was a big night for Tiffany Stratton. This was the biggest match of her career on the biggest stage. and she rose to the occasion. I mean, there is just no question about it that, like you pointed out earlier, the future is bright for Tiffany Stratton. I mean, she's only, 21, 22, I think. So, like,
Something like
when you can go like that and you're getting an opportunity to share the ring with a bona fide future Hall of Famer, Grand Slam champion. I mean, if she walked away tomorrow, there's nothing more that she needs to do in wrestling.
Nope.
That's a hell of an opportunity. And, I mean, she delivered. She absolutely delivered, even in a loss. Where do you see Tiffany going after this?
I think she'll stay in NXT. I think we still need a little bit more grooming for her. Let's get her into a couple more feuds and kind of, round out her in-ring ability. But A+ effort, man. Like, she absolutely passed this test. She killed it. It was, I mean, I texted you that night, like, she's a star. She is a star. She carries herself like a star.
Yeah.
We'll talk about somebody else that carries themselves like a star later on, but like, she has it, and it's very evident that they know she has it, and how they use that moving forward will be telling. But like, she's amazing, and Becky, going out there and still doing it, great story that they told. I love the bag full of the broken Barbies. That was a fun spot.
Yep.
Tiffany just throwing caution to the wind, doing all her moonsaults was crazy. Becky's elbow looks disgusting. And
yeah, she's not medically cleared for tonight, so the Tegan Knox story.
Not?
No, she is not.
Oh, interesting. I didn't see that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so it sounds like there will likely be a replacement match for Tegan and a couple of segments where she still, gets a chance. So, I mean, they'll come back to it. It's just probably going to be a week or so before they can, kind of.
Yeah, I could see that doing, popping a number on NXT too. Like, maybe they do it down there.
Yeah.
Just don't face Nia Jax. You won't win.
We'll just leave her alone.
Don't roll your eyes.
Can we just leave her alone today?
No, we won't, because she's on Raw tonight. And she better cut a better promo. Because last week sucked.
I know. At least she cut one. That's all I was worried about. I just didn't want them to do the 3 weeks in a row of her just tearing through your women's division.
So the women's division, I do have a question that's way offbeat.
That's all right. Let's hear it.
That just popped in my head because I'm a weird wrestling fan. Is Cora Jade going to have to drop Jade? With Jade Cargill?
Interesting. I never thought about that.
Because you can't have the same name in this company, pal. People will get confused.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a very good question. Let's just see when she shows up. I mean that's just.
I'm sorry, I completely just diverted the podcast and just ruined it. But that's how my mind.
See
works.
how.
That's how my mind works. Sorry.
You guys see how he treats me?
I'm not treating you anyway. Overall, really, really good match. Yeah. Impressive from Becky. Impressive from Tiffany. Probably the best Extreme Rules match I've seen in the WWE since the 6-man at the last show, at the last PLE, which was
Great American Bash, I think.
No, the one with Owens and Zayn and the Judgment Day. There are so many pay-per-views. I forget the name.
Yeah. God, it is exhausting.
Fastlane Saturday too, by the way. We got another one. And we're
going.
It is.
It's Yep. That's going to be fun. Before we move on to talking about WrestleDream, I'm just happening to see this on Twitter. This is from Joey Romano. Sorry, I keep X. What? That's Twitter. That one social media thing.
I refuse to update it until I'm forced to. It's still Twitter.
That's fair. This is what I'm hearing. We'll see how this actually shakes out. But at least from what I can see on X, all hell is breaking loose tonight backstage at Raw. Matches advertised getting canceled and changes to the show. Rewrites, eye roll emoji. This is not going to be a good night.
Okay, I'll take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, just a little bit, but he tends to be pretty spot on with some things. So we'll see. We'll see.
But they'll have it together by 8:00 and we'll be fine. We won't even know anything happened.
Will they?
I don't know. I trust them.
Yeah.
What was the name of that pay-per-view? It was in Pittsburgh.
If you know the name of that pay-per-view, let us
Battleground.
know. There you go.
Was it Battleground?
You tell me. I don't.
Start on the WrestleDream preview. I'm finding this
So
out.
WrestleDream, following us up on Sunday here. Let's try to be relatively brief on this, since I think there's another 14 matches or something like that. Yeah, 14
Yeah.
matches, 4 on the
Payback.
pre-show.
Payback. Sorry. Spazzing out today. Sorry, I had the day off. I'm full of energy.
I was gonna say. It seems like you need a nap. Seems like you need a nap.
I don't need a nap.
Okay.
I decorated my area for you, so it's not just a
You
blank
did
wall
great.
anymore.
I appreciate that.
We got the real championship right there.
It's fine. That's fine.
I love
It's
you.
not. It's not. It's at 1-3. It's not a great start to the season for us. So just.
And guys, last night I went over to Eric's and watched WrestleDream. Might have been the best time I've ever had watching a show with Eric. That was,
buddy.
I want you to tell the story that you told when I first came in about how you watched No Mercy with a child and how that was hard. Go ahead.
It was.
This is no shade to that person. It's just
no.
It was a funny story from you.
It is different watching wrestling with kids than it is with an adult friend, and it's just I don't necessarily remember the exact words that I used yesterday, but if you do, feel free to jog my memory.
I want to quote you. You were over there for 4 hours.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know, 4 hours. And you said it was exhausting. I do this every day with 2. Yeah. And they're not even in the no phase. They're not walking yet.
Yeah. The
worst is yet to come. And you said, I don't know how you do it.
I do not know how you do it.
And then I have to jump on a podcast with you and do this 5 days a week.
Yeah, shout out to all the parents out there. I don't know how you do it. Yeah, hey, all the respect in the world, okay? All right, let's get into WrestleDream. There's 14 matches. We're already 40 minutes into this episode.
You want to save it?
What's that?
Do you want to save it?
Nah, we can go, dude. Let's do it. We're in for penny, in for pound. Let's do it.
I don't need the pre-show, man. I don't like that first match I didn't see. You said the Claudio Barnett match was fun. I haven't seen Josh Barnett wrestle, so that would be something that you said they may go back to. And then Luchasaurus and
it looked like it
was kind of a squash. So nothing too crazy I think happened on the pre-show besides that.
Not really. The Acclaimed showed up to defend titles. I think nothing too crazy. Yeah. 4-match pre-show.
4 matches on the pre-show.
Yeah.
Come on, AEW. I know. Yeah. It's a school night.
Yeah, no, let's get after it. MJF defeating the Righteous to retain the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships, doing it in a handicap match, pulled off the body slam, pulled off the double kangaroo kick. Is there anything this man can't do right now?
Yeah, main event a show for the world title. Why couldn't this been on Grand Slam? Why couldn't this been on Grand Slam? Like, I won't get on my soapbox. Go back to the preview show if you want to hear that. I feel like MJF should be defending his world title rather than the secondary tag team title in the company.
Sure.
The match was fine. I think it was right to put it on in the opening because I don't know where else it would have been on the card. You get the pop for MJF. The dude is over like Rover. Like, he is so good and he is very equipped to have the crowd in the palm of his hand with everything he does. That guy is a star. We know he's a star, and he is going to make a lot of money in 2024, no matter which company he's going to.
Yeah, no, he's just otherworldly, and it's still weird that I am watching MJF as a babyface in 2023, and I think that the fact that I'm still kind of side-eyeing it of like, what are you really trying to pull here? It's like what I just continue to think, and he's just,
that's how good he is.
Student of the game. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. This doesn't necessarily hurt the Righteous, and as far as a handicap match, he's their world champion too. So it's like, he wasn't going to lose that match, even with the larger Adam Cole story and Roderick Strong and Kingdom and all of that. # next strong, # justice for Bryce.
That's better. I don't care about Roderick Strong's neck. I care about Bryce Cannon's arm.
I do. I
Bryce, how
care
many
about him.
stitches was that? That was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
get me
but
fired
it's
up.
okay. It's okay. He's ready. He'll be ready for turn the page. All right. Yeah,
Of
he's
course
gonna
he
kill
will
it.
be.
He's
He's the
gonna
world
retain that
champion.
title.
Of
Yeah,
course he will be.
he's a lot of world champions.
Yes, multiple world champions. He's also probably the best co-host we've ever had on the show besides you and me.
Yeah, yeah.
Easily.
If there was a Junkies Hall of Fame, then yeah.
Oh, he'd be
Inaugural
the first.
class.
He'd be first inductee.
Yeah,
First inductee.
yeah. But my man Eddie Kingston defeated Shibata to retain the Ring of Honor World Championship and the Strong Openweight Championship. I don't think that anybody thought that Eddie was losing this match. I mean, he's
No.
at an all-time high right now in his career. Like this wasn't going to be any other way. It just wasn't.
Nope. Hard-hitting match. Kind of a tribute to Inoki. Kind of what this whole show was. A different style match. The strong style wrestling that Japan is known for. Yeah, good match. It's always fun to see Shibata wrestle. I'm hoping one day we can get to one of these shows where I can see him live. But yeah, Eddie wasn't going to lose. Fun match. Eddie's probably on the moon right now because he's going to go to Japan and defend that title and have a great time. He was walking out with the Ring of Honor title, and I remember I said he looks like a Ring of Honor champion, which is not a bad thing. And
no, not at all.
I think he will do very well in that role and help carry that company, that brand of AEW.
Yeah, for sure. He's iron grip on the title. I mean, there's not really much more to say. I mean, he showed up, showed out, and that's just what it is. Chris Statlander also showed out, defeating Julia Hart to retain the TBS championship. Chris Statlander, again, I mean, we can't say enough good things about her and what she has been able to accomplish this year, even with the knee injury. This was no different. This was a solid match, only about 9 minutes, but it was very well paced. And I mean, she wasn't going to lose, but Julia Hart just continues to impress. I mean, she
almost lost. That moon spot or that moonsault spot. Say that 3 times fast. Was
moonsault spot.
Okay, whatever. You're just, you know what? Yeah, shut up. You retired after 4 hours with a child. I don't want to hear it.
Okay. So
now I'm all flustered.
I'm sorry.
Julia was impressive in this match. They booked her very well. It's before she had her winning streak. Her last loss was Chris Statlander, so that was a fun story to tell.
Yeah.
Statlander. I don't know how much longer she'll have the TBS title because I think she's ready for that main women's title. They just need somebody to take that title off of her. Julia wasn't the person tonight, but Julia was very impressive for her showing. And again, pretty solid match in a weekend full of really, really good matches.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on to the other 4-way tag team match that we saw of this entire wrestling weekend. Young Bucks defeating the Lucha Brothers, the Guns, Orange Cassidy and Hook. They will get a future world title or world tag team title opportunity. So Young Bucks FTR Part 4 loading, seems like.
Probably on the title Tuesday, I would assume. That's coming up.
Yeah.
They're going head to head with NXT that night, so I assume they're going to stack that card. I don't see this being like a Revolution match. I think they'll go a different direction. Edge is also advertised for that title Tuesday against Luchasaurus, so I think they're just going to stack that card and try to beat NXT in the ratings, which they probably will with Edge's first match on AEW.
Yeah,
but this match was. It wasn't as good as the other one, as the NXT one. Had the spots that were cool. It kind of felt like, and I don't mean this in a negative way, I felt like I've seen this match on AEW before. This style of 4-way match where everybody's getting their spots in, and there's a couple close near falls that you didn't think would be the near falls. Hopefully Rey Fenix is fine. Hopefully it's just kind of that was kind of his way to get him out of the match, but still on the card. And yeah, it was fine for what it was. It it was okay. It was okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, when Bucks FTR go, another round, like it's going to be awesome. Like there's no
Mm-hmm.
doubt about that. Just the caliber of talent, but I want to choose my words carefully here when I ask you this question
You
because
better.
I love the Bucks. I
You
do. I
better.
love the Bucks, but much like you said, we've seen some combination of all of these guys in the ring in a multi-man setting before, so it wasn't anything novel, but. Are we really ready for Young Bucks to be number one contenders again for the tag team championships?
I don't think it hurts. You know you're going to get a good match. I think FTR will retain. Again, I think they're just trying to pop a number on that title Tuesday, and
Yeah.
This is probably the best way to do it out of these four. I do think Orange, Cassidy, and Hook will get a title shot probably later down the road. But I think that was the point of this match, was to get FTR, Young Bucks, on the TV special, and pop that number. And
Yeah,
casual viewers will flock to that rather than an FTR versus the Guns or something like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I won't read into it too much now, but like you said, it felt familiar. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it was a solid match. I do think that I will agree that NXT had the slight edge. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think there was anything about either of these cards that it was just like, oh my god, I don't want this on my screen. Which is good. Like, I mean, both cards
That
are
is
great,
really
and
good.
no issue with them. But the fact that both shows had a 4-way tag match, it invites comparison.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're so well spoken.
Whose house is it? What's that?
You're so well spoken.
Aw, thanks, buddy. Whose house? Swerve Strickland in his home state, defeating Hangman Adam Page. I really enjoyed this one, man. This was great. There is a lot left to this story, especially getting Mobile Embassy involved. There'll probably be some involvement from the Elite to some degree, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this match.
Swerve is a star, man, and I think this was a big night for him. And I think, like we said about Tiffany, he passed. He passed with flying colors. Like he is someone that I think needs to be in the main event scene soon. I at this point, I'd rather see him take the title off MJF than Adam Cole. That's a bold statement.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it is.
Like,
That's all right.
he is hitting on all cylinders right now. I think this match was perfectly played too, of being in the home state where Seattle was really behind Swerve. Hangman played that kind of heelish role to a T, did a great job. I feel like maybe one too many near falls in this match. I think after he hit Hangman with Prince Nana's crown, maybe that should have been it, because that seemed like a good finish.
Yeah.
But they went, they went another couple minutes. But yeah, we need something for Hangman to kind of sink his teeth into, and this felt like the start of a trilogy.
Yeah.
So I'm cool if they run this back.
Yeah, this was the most revitalized I feel like I've seen when it comes to Hangman Page, because it's easy it was at least felt like he was getting lost in the shuffle this year. And I mean, this is the ideal opponent to bring out some just straight physicality. I mean, the way, I mean, look at that contract signing, just shoving the pen into his hand, like all of that's like, I mean, that's a shot across the bow. Like, I think that this is only going to get more and more violent. I mean, we saw what Swerve did to Nick Wayne. So, I mean, I would imagine that we'll see something similar like that go down with Hangman Page. But yeah, no, I say, run this into the ground. You got my money for this.
Yeah, I could see like a Texas death match coming out of this or something like that, where you kind of get into the sadistic side of Swerve, and I'm here for it. I think that, like I said, I think that guy's a star. I think he should be AEW champion sooner rather than later.
Yeah. This next match did not have me super excited. It was what it was. Ricky Starks defeated Wheeler Yuta. Less than 10-minute match. Was what it was. This could have been something on Grand Slam.
Yeah, it could have been something on Dynamite, a Rampage, a Collision. Didn't need it on the card. I think the best part of this match was Mox on commentary.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was having a lot of fun.
I think it was Excalibur that was like, man, you gotta, shout out to Big Bill for helping him win. And Mox was like, well, he didn't really do anything. He kind of came out and got run into the post. Mox is just he's like hilarious on commentary, and maybe they found something. Like him and JR had some good chemistry because they're JR's just the grumpy old man, and Mox kind of just playing into that, just being a fan. And the next match he was really into as well. But like, yeah, they might have something. Like if Mox wants to commentate Rampage,
it'd be fun.
I might start watching it. Like, he was sitting there, pulling his mic down and covering his mic and screaming and cursing, and then he pulls it back up and they're like, we can still hear you. Like, it was just like Mox was funny.
No, yeah, it was great. I mean, this is, obviously it sucks that he got injured, and hopefully he's, doing better and that he'll be back in the ring sooner than later. But yeah, this is a good use for him to keep him on TV and keep him as a presence, especially, now that there's, Title Tuesday coming up and different plans that had to be rearranged. He probably was going to be the one to take on Josh Barnett here at this show, had he not been injured. So, we kind of have to take the bad with the good, which is what it is. But yeah, I mean, if we thought that he was hyped to see Wheeler Yuta, he was
he's pumped,
beyond hyped to see Bryan Danielson defeat Zack Sabre Jr. in a literal technical masterpiece.
Great match.
This match was everything that we thought that it was going to be and more. It just was. I mean, Danielson getting to wrestle in his home crowd and to just go with one of the best on the scene right now, as far as from a technical wrestling standpoint, owner of the ugliest title in wrestling. I mean, this was almost a perfect match, if you ask me.
It was a great match. I think the ending tells me they're going to run it back, maybe at Wrestle Kingdom. Yeah. It was a technical masterpiece. It was, all the cliches you can give it, all the flowers. Like it was probably not a match for everybody, and that's probably why it didn't main event.
Sure.
You and I had that discussion last night about, this was probably strategic on why it didn't main event, because, this isn't everybody's cup of tea.
No.
But, no pun with Zack Sabre Jr. being in the match. But like it was a really, really good match. I think Danielson he's the greatest wrestler of all time. And I'm not, I don't feel weird saying that. Like, I think he is legitimately the best we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And we're lucky to see it. We're lucky that, again, there's another company that he can come back and wrestle to. Like, we are lucky to see this.
Yeah.
And
WWE would not have given him that match. That would not have happened.
Never. And that's why it is awesome to like both companies. And, throughout the entire weekend, we just got great matches and great shows. But this one was probably second for me on the weekend for best matches, with Ilya and Mello being number one. But this was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Absolutely. Hands down. Really not much more that needs to be said about it. If you have not watched this match, do yourself a favor and check it out.
Go watch his promo afterwards, too.
Yeah,
to me today.
I'll repost that on X. It just do yourself a favor and watch it. Really, Danielson's just otherworldly right now. Don Callis family defeating Chris Jericho and the Golden Lovers. Kenny's lost. That pay-per-view loss streak continues.
Yeah, it's an interesting story they're telling.
Yeah.
Excited to see what happens next. This was a solid 6-man tag. Didn't feel like it overstayed its welcome.
Yeah.
The entire show, I thought, was very well paced.
Yeah.
Which I think we're going to see a lot more of moving forward. So now that they're doing 12 shows a year, pay-per-view wise. But yeah, it continues the story. Kota looked good, I thought. He got dropped on his head once, which was scary, but Kota looked good.
Yeah.
I thought Takeshita looked really good.
For sure.
Like really good. And, Kenny and Will Ospreay always look good. Sammy and Jericho and continue that feud. Yeah, really, really, really good match.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. I mean, and these are, you're very clearly building something for Wrestle Kingdom here over the next couple of months, something for full gear, I'm sure. I would imagine that the final Omega Ospreay will be at Wrestle Kingdom just to save it for that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, like I said, very well paced. Everybody got their stuff in. It didn't feel, like you said, didn't feel like it overstayed its welcome. So
No.
I'm good with it. Yeah, I might rewatch it later tonight. AEW Tag Team Championships. FTR defeated Aussie Open to retain. I don't think that anybody was really surprised here, especially once you see that the Young Bucks, win the 4-way tag team match, to run it back. Aussie Open, they have become some of my favorites this year as far as, just really have jumped out at me, and especially with their alliance with Ospreay, so I'm automatically sold. But, we were talking on the pre-show about a match they had last year where they went 45 minutes, and this was everything. I really enjoyed this match.
All right. I'm kind of on the opposite end.
Okay.
This match was good. I thought it was a solid tag team match. It wasn't as good as the match before, and maybe that hurt it because it was literally half the time as that match. It didn't really, for me, get into that second gear that other match did. And again, it's probably because that match was really, really good. Like one of the best tag matches I've ever seen. And it's hard to live up to the hype when you have your match time cut in half. Like this match was fine. It was good. It's anytime FTR's in a tag match, it's going to be good.
No.
But I don't think it reaches that level of great FTR match. I do also really, really like Aussie Open. I think they are one of the better tag teams in the world right now. And I would like to see them, these two maybe main event like a Collision and go an hour. Like let them do that rather than kind of squeeze them in on a pay-per-view.
Yeah, no, I would like to see them.
That's kind of where I am.
Yeah, I'd like to see them do something, maybe with Bullet Club Gold, as far as like if they're going to go an hour, like any combination of those guys would be great for a Saturday night. So, this match did what it was supposed to do. FTR just 7-star FTR. They are what they are, and that was a solid co-main event. But we're only here for one thing now: Christian Cage, Darby Allin, TNT Championship, 2 out of 3 falls. I know you had thoughts on this, man. So I'm just going to turn it over to you right now.
The first fall was clever, pulling the turtleneck over Christian's head, and Darby was smart to pull him back and then get the cover. That was fun. That spot with Christian and Darby that led to the count out. I my stomach started to hurt.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the nastiest things I've seen.
And there's been a lot of them with Darby.
I don't know how Darby is moving. I have no idea. And he'll probably wrestle Wednesday because he's insane.
Yeah.
And you brought it up last night. Like he's straight edge. So there's not even ibuprofen to help him. Like he's got a pack of ice.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And easy tape and maybe a little bit of yoga help. But
but I mean, it was like legit, like my jaw was open for a couple of minutes because I'm like, he's dead. He's dead.
Yeah. And we're certainly not guys that are going to say, oh, he shouldn't do this spot, or oh, he shouldn't do this, or oh, he shouldn't do that. No. We don't know him. It's not our body, so like we're not the ones doing it. But you can't help but just feel like you just think about what you're doing here, but yeah, it was a match that had a larger story to it, Sting getting involved, Luchasaurus, Nick Wayne, and then Nick Wayne with the shock heel turn of the night. I would have never seen that coming. Yeah, so Christian makes fun of the kid with daddy issues, and now it's like, okay,
he's gonna be a stepdad.
Yeah,
he's gonna be his stepdad. I mean,
that's literally the story that they're going with here. I mean, all of the camera cuts to Mama Wayne and Christian Cage. It's just, man, it's going to be something.
The Nick Wayne turn was. I didn't see that coming. No. They did it. They did it perfectly. Sting's involvement, Luchasaurus then coming out, and then Adam Copeland coming out. And getting the great pop. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. Go watch that. But it's amazing. It's a great time to watch wrestling. But yeah, this match was. I don't know how that man is moving. What's the quote that he said?
He's got so many of them, dude.
I'm not here for long, but I'm going to have fun in the short or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
he is not here for long. Enjoy him now, because there is no way that man is not in a wheelchair by 40.
Yeah.
Like the stuff he does to his body.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly hope not. But like, I mean, I've said this on the show before that, you know, he has, you know, even when his in-ring career is done, he'll be in some sort of producing or some sort of production role with AEW. I mean, Copeland talked about it at the media scrum last night. He called Darby and was just like, "Yeah, where's some great spots in Seattle that we can, you know, put something together for Sunday?" And just they put it together in a couple of days, and I mean that speaks to the creativity that Darby has as well. So, you know, there will still be some influence of him in AEW for the foreseeable future, but like you said, I mean, bumps like that are gonna, you know, they're gonna take some time off your career.
And they tried it like 3 times. The first time he dropped him on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
and it looked disgusting. The second time he threw him on the stairs, it looked like it hurt. That third time,
It looked just brutal. Beat him like he stole something.
And Christian's on one of the best runs of his career. I
Yeah.
think we can both admit that he's doing some of his best work.
Yeah, this is, I mean, the fact that we're going to get Adam Copeland, Christian Cage one-on-one, I mean, we have not seen that in over 20 years, and these are two men that are both much more mature now than they were when they first did the Edge and Christian split. So I just,
it's gonna be a lot of fun,
dude.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Wrestling, you know, for the rest of 2023 and 2024, we are going to be spoiled. So everybody just enjoy what it is that you're watching. You know, it's okay if you like one company more than the other. That's fine. It's okay if you like both companies. We love both companies, but let's just enjoy the fact that we are getting some great wrestling right now, regardless of where it's coming from.
Yep. Yeah. And, you know, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up because we're feeling like an AEW pay-per-view today. We're going long.
Every once in a while you have to. And I think this was the appropriate day too. And I still can't believe we're
running pay-per-views back to back, man. I might be getting pay-per-viewed out.
It's gonna be the new normal, bud. It's gonna be the new normal, so be ready.
Yeah. Well,
any final thought?
I like wrestling. I like wrestling. That's my final thought. Yeah. I like wrestling.
Love that. Love that. Well, yeah, there's definitely not much more to say. Thanks for checking out this episode with us, guys. Remember to hit that QR code in the top left corner. Like, share, subscribe, turn on those notifications so you can see what we're doing. We can't thank you guys enough for continuing to watch and support us. So, you know, again, we greatly appreciate that. For the podcast dad, I am Mr. Cincinnati. This has been the Wrestling Junkies podcast, and we'll talk to you guys soon.